got to tell you this. Dolphins kept it close last night. And I dug what Mike McDaniel did. Like there were, I didn't, what did I say all week? This is going to be embarrassing. I don't see a pathway for the game last night to not be embarrassing. I was not embarrassed. I thought they looked good at times. I thought Mike McDaniel called a good game. Something happened that we're kind of getting used to happening, which is a final drive that Tua needs, and he just can't deliver. But I don't know. I didn't feel horrible. And they didn't even need the whirling dervish. They gave you one little touch of a whirling dervish during the game, but they really didn't even need it. Like, they just played football like a I want to say competent football team, but compared to what we saw week one versus what we saw last night, they looked like a Super Bowl team.
They looked like they were a decent NFL franchise. Like, they didn't embarrass the organization. You kept asking, and I thought about it when I was watching the game, where Stephen Ross has to deal with his other billionaire friends and they're laughing at him. Last night, they're sitting around, they're drinking Louis XIII, they're smoking $7,000 cigars, and they're like, there's no laughter. Okay, this is a good football game.
And by the way, had they beaten Indianapolis and or New England and then did that on Thursday night, you'd have been like, yeah, season's kind of going the way we expected. I mean, not necessarily after the Indianapolis game week one, because that was like ridiculous. That still stings. But I don't know. Had you beaten New England, had you been able to come back and win week two, and then on a short week go into Buffalo and be within striking distance again at the end of the game, so I know we got to have the Tua conversation. We're going to have it today. Kim Bocamper is going to join us today, by the way. Sports Talk on WQAM is sponsored by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. It's like $250 a month. So visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Here's the tweet from Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald that jumped out at me last night after the game. He tweets, now 7 TDs and 7 interceptions for Tua in his career final 5 minutes down by 1 possession. Passer rating in those situations sinks lower into the 70s. And Barry Jackson editorializes, unfortunate. But that's the issue. 7 TDs, 7 interceptions for Tua when there's 5 minutes or less left and the Dolphins are down 1 possession. And I would submit to you, if those were Skylar Thompson's numbers, you'd be okay. But because they're Tua's numbers, who is making a massive amount of money, he's being paid as one of the elite quarterbacks, you can't have those numbers when the game is on the line. When you're within a touchdown and there's 5 minutes or less left, you can't be throwing 7 picks.
You're $250 million man. You get paid that money to end games. Like the Colts game, you were just out of it. Like, and that's why we're so embarrassed by that one. The New England game and now the Buffalo game. There's a single-digit lead or deficiency in the fourth. That's where the Brett Favres and the Aaron Rodgers and the Tom Brady's, that's where quarterbacks are made in that final drive. And for Tua to go 7-7 in those drives and his QBR be in the 70s, I think that's where our deficiencies are. And then they were killing him about his arm strength last night. Because it's the only game in town, they were destroying him about how they're like, I mean, he throws
every time Tyreek gets deep, he's just chucking the ball in the air like a punt.
He can't reach him, man. You saw it yesterday when, first of all, Tyreek is double covered. That's fine. But if you're throwing that ball, it's got to be 30 yards in front of him. And, bro, Tua put everything he had into that throw. I mean, everything he had into that throw. and it ended up being a jump ball for the shortest guy on the field. I don't know if it's the injury. We talked about it last week. He's regressed. I don't know if it was the hip injury at the end of last season. I don't know what it is, but he can't make that throw, man. He just can't.
Hoch, what's the number to Atlantic Men's Clinic?
You think he needs some tea? You think can we call him Low Tua?
It's so crazy when you're the only game in town, how they break it down. Like, I've watched Acho talk about it. I've watched Darren Orlovsky talk about it. Like this morning, because it's the only football that you have to break down. And they're showing this stuff on video. Like, he's rainbowing 15-yarders. Yeah. Like, and they show Josh Allen throw the same. Josh Allen drove something into Keon Coleman, and it was the same route from Tua. Josh was on a damn rope, and Tua's was fluttering in the air and dropped in. I'm like, this doesn't look good.
And then obviously big penalties. I don't know what the deal is on the Sieler penalty because I don't know special teams. I can't imagine if the center crumples that way and Zach Sieler thinks he has a chance to block the punt, doesn't he have to do that? Doesn't he have to go all out? Now, whether you think they should be going for a punt block in that situation is probably a completely different story. But I don't know, he got penalized. I get it. And it killed them. But did he do the wrong thing?
Yes. I have more problem with this than Tua's interception, which they're breaking it down. It was cover 3. When 3 pushes to the flat, you push the number 2. Like, I played that position. I got that. This dude didn't do football another way. He did his job, and Tua threw the ball straight in his chest. Why in the hell is your 30-year-old, 6'6", 300-pound D tackle on punt return?
Why that's is a different question too? Because Matthew Judon was in week 1
is Matt Judon on punt return? Like, what are y'all trying to prove? The old guys have to play special teams too? And he didn't know what obviously, to answer your question, Hoch, 6'6", 300-pound D tackles don't know how to block punts. Like, that's why he doesn't know how to turn his body sideways. Can you
blame him for just launching himself at the punter because he thinks he's about to block it?
You turn sideways. I did it when I was a younger. You turn sideways and you reach out. So it's a taunt to you. I'm not going to hit his down leg. That's when they call roughing the punt. If his leg's off the ground and you hit his leg that's on the ground, that's a health issue, and that's roughing the punter. You don't even head towards him. You head sideways and reach out with your arm so that if you do roll, you roll next to him. But your highest paid 30-year-old, 6'6", 300-pound D tackle is not going to know how to do that. Why the hell is he on punt return?
He wasn't even close though. Like, that's what bothers me. And I understand
know how to do it.
But he thought he was close. Is my point. He thought he was close. Hey. He thinks he is about to block the punt, and so I'm just trying to figure out if I'm angry at him or if I'm angry at the coaching staff, the special teams coaches, for having him in that situation, or if I'm angry at just a flawed rule by the NFL. Because I don't know. I think he thinks he's about to block the punt.
Hoch, I want you to run seam flat on a fire zone blitz. You got it?
Not really.
Because you shouldn't be out there running seam flat on a fire zone blitz because you're not a outside linebacker or safety. Why is this big-ass dude on punt block? It doesn't make sense. He doesn't train for it. He doesn't do it. I'm more upset about Sieler being on that field than I am about Tua throwing an interception. I'm not going to lie. There's no reason.
The best part is the Zach Sieler hasn't even recorded a sack yet this year. I mean, he's been invisible all season. More so, even if he's normal, because I don't know, Crowder, he might be a regular out there on punt blocking, on punt returns. I don't know, by the way. We'd have to look at the snap counts. But either way, they should have pulled his ass at the start of the game. This guy hasn't done anything all season. And now he's the guy you're relying on to go get a pump block?
I bet him last night to have a sack. I said to myself, there's no way. And I didn't think Josh Allen was even going to throw a ton. But I thought to myself, there's no way this guy is going 3 games after the contract he got without getting to the quarterback. I should have bet Bradley Chubb. That was my second choice. Damn it.
Yeah.
Hey, how about Ollie Gordon anytime touchdown? Who called that?
You called it.
Who
You
called
called
that?
it.
Who made fun of me for suggesting Ollie Gordon anytime touchdown? And by the way, Tua fans, if you're betting the Tua rushing over, which I did, you just cashed for the third week in a row. When he got it was his first scramble, he fell forward 2 yards. Any other quarterback goes for 12 yards, right?
That was on the fumble. That was on the fumble, though, right?
Yes.
Wasn't that he fumbled the snap? It was a third down play. Fumbles the snap. It was actually kind of a fire play by Tua. Picks it up, jukes the line.
Any other quarterback goes 12 yards. He went 2. Over under on his rushing was 1.5. So I text Rob Pizzola, Tua rushing over. He said, don't get ahead of yourself because you could have kneel downs at the end. And I text him back, LOL. Any other quarterback, I might be worried about a kneel down at the end. I go, you think they're going to be in the lead at the end of this game? And by the way, you think if they are in the lead at the end of this game, Tua's coming out to take the final snaps? He's going to be in bubble wrap on the bench. So while normally I would not celebrate a victory before I was certain, and Hard Rock Bet hadn't even cashed it out. They did on his second scramble that went for, 10 yards or whatever. But I was celebrating that one. I said, there is no situation. And then at the end of the first half, actually, I saw something that I had not thought of, which is Josh Allen, like the Bills got the ball back with like 4 seconds left. And they kneeled on it at the end of the first half because they're deep in their own territory and they just want to get the second half there. And I thought to myself, oh, there's a situation where Tua might end up kneeling on the ball. They get the ball back. There's 1 second left in the half, and they just say kneel on it. So, but regardless, the Tua rushing over cashes once again.
If they have a kneel down situation, put Matt Judon or Zach Sieler at quarterback because it just sounds like a good idea.
Use them anywhere.
That got
all right. We have a ton to get to. We're going to talk about the game. We'll preview. Kim Bokamper is going to join us. We've got our final pair of Everclear tickets to give away this afternoon. We're still giving away that pair of tickets to see Mike Tyson. He's bringing his Return of the Mike show to the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood in December. And it's evening with Iron Mike, stories and more from Iron Mike. So if you want to win tickets, the code word today is KID, K-I-D. Text KID to 20357. That's 20357. You can get more info at WQAM.com. It is a text contest. Message and data rates may apply. Do not text and drive. You can purchase tickets at Ticketmaster. But if you want to win the Mike Tyson tickets, text the word KID, K-I-D, to 20357. By the way, Matthew Tkachuk will be the celebrity guest picker for the College Game Day broadcast, which we had suggested at the beginning of the week. And I think that is an excellent choice by them. We'll get headlines here. Start out the show.
I did text Pat McAfee. I think what they call the kids call it left on red.
Well, I think that happened to us with Desmond Howard, who listens to this show. Didn't you text Desmond Howard, Solana?
I did. I texted him and left on red as well from old Des.
Lights off.
Lights off, Hoch. Lights off, Hoch.
Headline brought to you by Doral Hyundai, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Hyundai or DoralHyundai.com.
I'll read this from ESPN. You mentioned the Tua Tagovailoa stat from BJ that was alarming. Since Mike McDaniel took over in 2022, Miami is 3-14 against teams that entered the game with winning records compared to 25-12 against teams entering the game 500 or worse. And then they write, the Dolphins have lost 8 straight regular season games against teams that entered with winning records, tying their longest streak in such games from Crowder's era, 06 to 08. Thanks, Crowder.
No, those two stats are connected. I just go back to week 1, Buffalo Ravens, 2 Super Bowl contenders. That game was 41-40. It was won in the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. That's when good teams play good. Good teams are good late in games. You can get a big-ass lead, and then the other team comes back, and then you'll be in the fourth quarter with a single-digit deficit or advantage. That's when good teams play well, is late in the fourth quarter.
Somebody texts in, Hochman is such a Dolphins apologist. It's sickening. They suck. Yeah, what show are you listening to? I'm sorry. What? Huh? What? Because I said they didn't get embarrassed last night? I'm an apologist? They didn't get embarrassed last night. They were in a chance. They were in a position. You know, it would have been great is if Tua brought them down to score and Mike McDaniel went for 2. Shove it up your buffalo butts.
Oh, they were going to do that for sure. For sure. For sure.
No.
For sure.
No, he wouldn't.
You might be right. Why go to overtime with Josh Allen? He's going to score a touchdown.
Because you just went touchdown for touchdown with them for 4 quarters. Let's run another quarterback.
No, you have all the momentum. You can win the game right now. And Mike McDaniel notoriously likes to go for 2. He likes to do things like that. Go for it on 4th down. Go for 2 because the analytics say so. He was going for 2 100%. And I think they were going to do the tush push.
Julian Hill is money. No, Julian Hill is money going on.
Oh, goodness.
Right?
Gracious.
Wasn't there only 2-point conversion this season to Julian Hill?
I think it's the only reception Julian Hill had ever caught before yesterday.
the one that he juggled? Come on, man.
The one he juggled. That was the one, yeah.
Then he catches the ball yesterday and gets dumped on his head. You didn't see that, dude? Come on, Julian.
Just throw this out there. We might have a kicker controversy coming up in a little. I'll get to it later on.
I tell you what, this Riley Patterson is money. This Riley Patterson is money. I'm not going to admit whether or not I was rooting for him to miss the extra point.
Oh, it'd have been great for the show.
I was thinking to myself, so Tua takes him down, ties the game up, goes to overtime. Dolphins miraculously hold the Bills to a field goal. And now they drive down the field. Bills hold them, of course. Riley Patterson just needs to tie it up. And Matt Prater's it. Did you see that Matt Prater kick at the beginning of the game? Looked like me out there.
Well, that was one of Solana's go-to names during the Riley Patterson arguments.
Won them the game a couple weeks ago. I'm saying.